seeing what it might be like by testing it a little bit, but many companies grow on their own accord, and if you can do that, all the better. That said, I do think that there are lots of other opportunities to get a user base from Facebook or Twitter onto mobile and to promote your application in ways which are a little bit more economical, but the market price, as you point out, we created a competitive market on AdMob. It's pretty expensive. You can't argue with that. The solution is to have a product which does encourage people to download the next product after they've downloaded one, and to have a product which people stick with, so much so that you can, over time, encourage them to try some of the other products that you have. But I don't have a silver bullet for you there. If I did, trust me, all my companies would be on it, and I would keep it under wraps. But we are in a market where that does go up and down, and your friend here who has the Fortune 100 marketer who wants to spend 10% of their budget, maybe $50 million on mobile advertising, it's causing partly that problem. And we see that across the board.
So is it okay if we actually do 10 more minutes till 8 o'clock? That's okay? All right.
If you guys think that's okay.
Is that okay? Okay, cool. All right. I know there's so many
it's kind of hot here. So.
And I apologize for that, but if you guys only do like hashtag Dolphin Garage, then I can actually see all the questions that could be answered even faster as well. But on the other hand, let's do John, who's visiting from Virginia.
Yeah. So just a quick survey. How many of you people, looking at the mobile space, you're focused on consumer, B2C enablement, or kind of ad-supported models? Raise your hand. Really, any of those three. So just kind of broad strokes, focused on the end user, focused on consumerization, essentially. Really, and how many of you guys are focused on kind of enterprise application infrastructure or B2B enablement? So I think it seems like there's a huge gap right now still where there's a lack of interesting application development going into that space, and it's a huge opportunity because everyone's BYOD, consumerization of IT, everybody's moving to that, and Salesforce.com, I use that as my mobile app, and it sucks, and there's an opportunity there for a lot of additional development, but I guess your thoughts around that space and why it's kind of lagging and what can be done to kind of accelerate that.
Enterprise, yeah, I 100% agree there. A lot of these devices that you guys are carrying around now, we have plenty of ways to waste time on our mobile devices, and I've been a part of finding companies like the gaming companies which help you just kill time. It's about time that we find some of those use cases that help us be more productive with these mobile devices. And the truth is, inside of a lot of companies, productivity can be increased using the power of the smartphones that everyone now has in their pockets. And so if you have an enterprise company that's on mobile, come find me. I'm very, very open to it and looking for those types of opportunities. But one thing I will say about enterprise to be conscious of is that the bar is high. It's been raised. If you started an enterprise company in the past, look at Salesforce as and their UI. How does it compare to a consumer-related product? We're involved with companies who didn't go after the enterprise but have ended up there. Evernote and Dropbox I've already mentioned today. They didn't try to be enterprise companies. They're consumer companies which enterprises can't get rid of. The CIO knows that it's in there and they don't want to know. But it's going to be their problem, and it's what it's creating is an elevated bar for the standard of what the enterprise experience needs to be. I said this recently in another context, but Gmail has raised the bar for email overall, where now you won't just take a really crappy experience, you wouldn't be happy with whatever your corporate IT department says this is your email client. You'll say, well, Gmail is so much more effective, why can't I search? Why doesn't it work the way that Gmail does? And the same is true in mobile. A lot of companies are preoccupied with being across every single platform, and oftentimes for a small company, it's very difficult to do that off the bat because you're making then one mistake 3 times if you're going to build Android, iOS, and Windows Phone 8 all at the same time. But yeah, I don't have an answer for you, but I can tell you that I have this debate with any number of my companies every week, and the answer is always different. Important thing is to have some idea as to how to focus and where your user base is, such that you make that decision appropriately.
Can I do a quick plug? You should definitely build it on Dolphin using an HTML5. Talk to David, and he will talk to you about that. And I'm going to do a final question.
Hi, I'm Pius. I'm from a startup called Becouply. We help couples find fun things to do and plan dates. And so we're getting ready to raise our seed round. And we make money, and people like our product, but we're still small. We're like private beta, basically. So can you talk about how you evaluate a seed stage investment?
We've at Sequoia done seed investments for as long as we've existed. In fact, I think Electronic Arts may have been a seed investment. So we're no stranger to it. But we have a philosophy which may be different to others who are investing at that stage, and that is we hold it with the same high bar that we do when we get involved in a company at any stage. We want to find companies that can be the market leader of the future in whichever category that might be. And in the case of Omar Hamoy, we saw that there was that opportunity. No one else was really looking for it. He had that intuitive sense. YouTube was similarly, the 3 guys had an intuitive sense of videos that they wanted to share between themselves, and they came in and they couldn't keep up with the demand. And at that time, we needed to buy servers to serve that. So a lot of the consideration was, can we do this economically? So we look for an ability to create a truly leading company in whichever space that you're in. And then we look for a lot of aspects around the team as to whether they will be able to recruit, with our help of course, but let's be clear here, the bulk of the work, 99.9%, and all the credit goes to all of you, the entrepreneurs. We're always in the background. You have to have the ability to go and recruit that team and that organization that can be a market-leading organization, a company of the future, and be here in 20 years' time. So that bar is still there. What we don't do is invest small amounts of money to have some kind of association with you and not get involved. That's just a philosophy which we have. I'm very careful with the amount of time that I spend with each and every company. I want to make sure that for the companies that I do, that are in the portfolio, that I have appropriate amount of time for them, and hopefully they appreciate that by me not having too many companies that I'm trying to help in small ways. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you. And any final thoughts?
Well, I'm just glad that all of you came here. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for sitting through the heat. And I'm easy to reach. My email is on the website.